Welcome to Tam's Side Goodbye. She's ready to take you to new heights. All you gotta do is open your mind. Take a ride and a deep dive into your life.
Well, hello. So today we're going to talk about the ESTP and ENTJ in the boxing ring, in an argument. Who wins the fight? Who wins the fight? Put that in the comment section below. If you were listening to a verbal argument, or let's just say a debate, let's call it a debate, who would win that argument? Like, would you say hands down one or the other? Or would you say, that'll be pretty close? What do you think? I'm just so curious to hear your opinion. Hold up, not so fast. I thought I heard somebody say the ENTJ would win. I think it might be a close one. So here's what happened, okay? So I actually witnessed this happen. Arguments, or actually it was more of a debate between these two types. Let me give you a little background on these two guys. So both of them are Christians. Both of them are rappers. Both of them have YouTube channels. One of them's YouTube channel has like 500,000. The other one has about 60, 70,000, something like that. And so one of them decided to go onto the other one's channel. Now, imagine this. Think about the last 6-7 months or so and what some of the most heated topics that you could ever talk about are. So when I actually saw this, Trump was still in office, but people were saying that, some people were trying to say that God sent Trump, and then other people were saying he's not going to be here in office anymore. And so one of these guys is a Republican, one is a Democrat. So they're talking about issues like Trump. They're talking about abortion. They're talking about gay rights, just homosexuality, period. So, I mean, golly, like you can't get more heated of topics, kind of the debate. They were also talking about COVID, wearing a mask, don't wear a mask. If you're wearing a mask, you shouldn't. If you're Christian, you don't need to because God is going to protect you. I mean, just the most heated things that you could possibly talk about. And yet it was pretty heated. You can't talk about topics like that without getting really heated. I thought going in, the ENTJ was going to hands down, like totally win this argument. But in the end, I wasn't so sure because when people are convicted in what they believe and what they think, you've got two thinkers, dominant men in the ring, and it was heated, let me tell you. So the ESTP kept saying, things like, hey, you know what? We're going to be nice. But the thing is that the ESTP, he's also a censor. So censors are very present moment. They're, what's going on right now? What are the facts? I'm looking at, what I see, what I hear. I'm not going to be into any speculation or anything theoretical. I want it to be straight as a line what it is. So, the ENTJ would say things like, well, God told me, and he's like, give me evidence of that. I mean, how do you know? Like, are you really prophetic, or are you just saying? I mean, he just wouldn't let him get away with anything. But the thing is his strategy was, let's go back to what the truth is. Let's go back to what the truth is. Like, what is it? Like, say it straightforward. No hemming, no hawing, none of that. So he would kind of bring him back to this line Now, there were some moments where the ENTJ, I think he felt like he was losing. And then so his temper started to flare up like, hold up. Like, I'm not going to let you, just, it wasn't that he was talking to him any kind of way, but I'm not going to let you keep pointing out or, come back to the truth. Here's the baseline. You're straying away from the baseline. What you're saying isn't factual. I want to hear facts. And so there were a couple of moments where the ENTJ started to go off, like heat up, like I'm about to start yelling. And the ESTP would just throw him a bone. He kept throwing him a bone. Oh no, and I'm not judging you or anything like that, but I'm about to judge you. But I'm not judging you. So, hey, you know what? You're free to say whatever you think, But no matter what he would say, he would still challenge it. He challenged everything that the ENTJ said, no matter what it was. And it was just interesting to see. I think, an ENTJ is, even though they're intuitive, they're still judgers. So, he's going to hold certain beliefs and, like, for example, he might say, well, the Bible says that this is wrong, that certain things are wrong. And the ESTP's argument would be give people the option to fail. So think about it this way. Perceivers like openness. They like to leave the door open. Judgers like to leave the door closed. They want closure. They want to make judgments. They want to be definitive about things, right? But a perceiver is going to let people be a little bit of who they are. And I'm going to throw this in. There was somebody in the comment section, and I may be saying this I might be quoting them a little bit wrong, but they said that perceivers are just as judgmental as judgers, and that just because of the word judger doesn't mean that they judge. But I found that to not be the case. And that's just me. I don't know everything, but I find judgers to be super judgy, man. I mean, I have been around judges that are like, she's ugly, he's this, he's that, he should wear his clothes differently. I don't look at those shoes. I mean, you might say that's narcissistic, but I mean, they're just judgy in every way. Like, you know what? You could be smarter than that. Like, you should, whereas I have found that perceivers are more open with people, kind of, hey, I'm going to believe whatever you say. I'm not talking about just flat out lies, but they're not as quick to judge. They're more open with, I'm going to let you be who you are. Like, I don't need to judge you so harshly. And so I think what the ESTP was trying to say was, let's say there's somebody who's not committing a crime, so to speak, but let's say that the person is living a lifestyle that you don't agree with. I think he's kind of going by, don't judge lest ye be judged. But then there are places in the Bible where it seems to be okay to, how can you not sin if you can't make judgments on what's right and what's wrong? Okay. So you can make an argument for either side, but I think he was saying, hey, look, I can be friends with someone who has an alternative lifestyle, or maybe they're not like me, or maybe there's something different about them. I'm going to let them be who they are, and I'm going to accept them, which when Jesus came back, really, not that you should sin, but I'm not going to get into that, but he's just saying, give people the space to be who they are, and even possibly change based on that. You're not just quick to judge. Whereas the ENTJ was throwing the hammer, like, man, this is wrong, that's wrong, I'm not going by this, that's incorrect. Very, very judgmental on, this is how I believe things should be. There were things on both sides that I agreed with, and there were things that I disagreed with. But I was most intrigued and fascinated by their debate style, and that both of them had the capacity to win a debate because of the strategies and the skills and their thinking patterns. It's like both of them made surprisingly great arguments for how they felt, but it was like intuition versus censor. And then you're pairing that with both of them are thinkers, but because you also have one is a judger, one is a judger, one is a perceiver, they're going to both be able to kind of step out of their feelings to a certain degree and speak objectively, but yet, man, that N and that S and that P and that J in an argument, woo, talk about fire. ESTP's stance was we should never say what's best for people is what's best. And both of them call themselves very nice. They both kept saying, people like me in my circle. Believe it or not, they really do like me. The ENTJ said that he's open to arguing with people because it gets to new understanding of things. That was kind of how he concluded. So it's kind of like they went up this avalanche, but by the end, they were cool. I thought it was interesting that, the ENTJ had a lot of his followers watching him on this channel. So they were getting mad. And, he said in the end, hey, I love you, like Christ loves the church, stuff like that. And I thought, okay, so you're trying to look like the good guy so that your followers can jump on him. That's my ENFJ thinking. Like, okay, you're playing nice because it's going to make you look good. But anyway, the ESTP kept bringing him back to reality. What is truth? What is real? What is fact? And he kept saying, be open when it comes to allowing people to be who they are, whether you agree or not. But he was just trying to show him the fallacy of some of his thinking when it came to, I think because there have been in the political ring, there were a lot of people believing that somehow Trump would still be president, and that's how the ENTJ was believing. But not just that. Like I said, it was a whole lot of other things. But just let me know in the comment section if you were to see an argument between an ESTP and an ENTJ, which one of those do you think would win the fight, and based on what? Based on what? Who do you think would win a debate? Let's put it that way. So if you want me to do more videos on who would win the argument, then just show me by liking this video, and be sure to check out my book. There are some very argumentative people in the narcissistic world, which is what this book is all about that I wrote, called The Workplace Narcissist. So if you work with difficult people, I guarantee you this book is going to help you win some arguments, okay? All right, you guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Personality disorders, stay away from them narcs. Watch your personality, target, you know who you are.